This part of who I am.
Peace to the saints. We're back at it. I wanted to continue and finish those notes. Do forgive me for having to get off. I always make an effort to be on time for business affairs. I know you all are probably looking out for the commission podcast. Cooley had messaged me on IG, which I didn't get the message that he wasn't able to make our time today. So forgive both of us in as much as that's the case. I know many of you may have been looking forward to that, but let's go ahead and finish off this topic. As we go through, if you have any comments, questions, you can use the information below. Our last conversation was really about debunking the idea of the ish test, which is the idea that women are very clever, practical, rational actors who are testing you strategically with great purpose to see if you're worthy of them because they're so great and so amazing. And maybe you're fake. You have to be vetted and verified, which is quite fascinating because when we make a study of human nature, the nature of the male and the female, we find that, I shouldn't say I, Marquett Devon Burton, find that the big difference and the fundamental place in which we try to deceive as the male or as the female, for the male, they lie about what they have, their material existence. For the female, they lie about who they are. One lie is far more damaging and dangerous than the other. To lie about what you have, you're in the good situation that you can actually change it and make it a truth. For example, if I were to tell you today that I own a private jet that I have in the hangar and I'm leasing it back to a flight school, and that might not be true today, but I could actually work, earn well, and make it true. Not that it's good to lie. Honesty is the most important thing. I promote it every single day and try to practice it every single day. With regards to the women, they lie about who they are. Oh, this is a very deep, far-reaching lie. To lie about who you are, you're often lying about things that you can't change or things that you won't change. Woman lies and says she's a virgin when she's been through every version of penis on earth. You cannot change that. You cannot undo what has already been done. A woman lies and says that she is honest and loyal and submissive when she knows no master and she is extraordinarily unruly. A woman lies and says she comes from a good family when her family is in shambles. Claims she has good values when she learns all of her values from popular music and from social media and from public school teachers. Things that cannot be changed, will not be undone. The irony is that while the woman lies about who she is, then why would she ever have to give you an ish test to verify and validate what you've presented yourself as? One nuance I will add to your understanding with regards to the things that males lie about is if a man lies about what he has, at some level, he has lied about who he is. A lot of the guys who are not doing as well financially as they would like to be, they deride those males who are outperforming them, suggesting that, oh, that woman only likes you because of what you have. Well, know that unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, Gary Vaynerchuk, Donald Trump, then maybe what you have at some level is a representation of who you are or the man you've become, right? Because many of us, we have to climb up that ladder, hike up that mountain, take the road to success, and your material existence may represent your efforts and understanding. So we cannot totally fault the female for wanting a guy who's successful, for his material life may be a representation of great traits that he might have: discipline, focus, honesty, integrity, things like this, timeliness. So in as much as that's the case, both parties will lie. They will lie about different things, but certainly some lies are more detrimental, and generally on the female side, there will be higher levels of dishonesty, and the lies will be far more dangerous. They will hurt you. So you really got to pay attention. And while they're giving you an ish test, you should be Dr. Philling them. Oh, for those of you who are members, check out question number 10 in the first set. The Dr. Phil conversation topics has 3 sets. You should do them in order, set by set. And in the first set, there is a question I added, number 10, which is quite a brilliant question. Anyways, one thing I wanted to talk to you about on the specific lecture topic of this episode, which is titled, Why Women Don't Disrespect Certain Men. You see, not everything happens to everybody. Sometimes I watch the news, or I hear about things, and I think, I could never, pish posh. That would never happen to me, darling. It's for the peasants and the peons. Which is to say, people generally, they'll only try to get over on certain types. And I can tell you that if ever anyone makes the mistake of trying to get over on you, and you're not a game player, you're not the weak person they misestimated or miscalculated you to be, you do what I always recommend, which is to smash an ant with a sledgehammer. Every now and then people will misunderstand you. But mostly people will look at you and they will rightly estimate you. That's why certain things only happen to certain characters. Certain women end up with men who run off on them. It's a reflection of the woman. Certain men end up with a lot of baby mamas, and they're all ghetto, ratchet, and hit you for child support. It's a reflection of the man and his decision-making. Every now and then there's a fluke. People get surprised, and you're like, oh, I can't believe that happened to that person. Shannon Sharp with the little Snow Bunny OF girl. Was anyone really surprised? No disrespect to Shannon, but was anyone truly surprised? I wasn't. Oh, and by the way, side note, just curious, where is J-Lo in all this Diddy stuff? Why has she not come up? Maybe the Illuminati or whatever secret group these people are in, maybe that's real, because no one's mentioning J-Lo. It's like, I feel like she should be on the stand at some point, right? It'd be like, if Diddy was such a bad guy, why didn't he do anything bad to J-Lo? Did she just get off scot-free? I need to know. Go ahead, take a pause for the cause real quick. As we say within the sing of ours, show love to those who show love to you. Shout out to Fox, writes, bless and peace to the saints. I appreciate you. Shout out to Chung, supporting the work as well. He's very consistent. And I appreciate all my moderators. I want to thank you all. You're always here with me, supporting the work. And shout out to the Lady Saints as well. May I acknowledge, shout out to Dallas, who got his big game conference ticket. By the way, the price has gone up, and it will continue to go up until the tickets sell out. Shout out to Emmanuel, writes, thanks for the great knowledge. You are very welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to Charlie, sends intuition as well. May I also acknowledge via PayPal. Shout out to Dalil, writes, peace of the saints. I'll have to catch the replay. Tuition for the ism. That's a beautiful thing. Shout out to the real men who pay what they owe. Man said, I'm not even watching it right now, but I am supporting it right now. Shout out to Thuld, writes, tuition for the breakdown on many topics. Too much game. Oh, indeed. But the real question is, will you apply it? Will you apply it? That is the real question. Yes, we often know right from wrong. We often know the straight path, but sometimes it's hard to walk the straight path. Paradoxically, we find it easier to walk that path, which is littered with rocks, pebbles, potholes, all kinds of slings and arrows and dangers. For some reason, the booby trapped, or for some of you, booty trapped, road seems to be more alluring as opposed to the simple, straightforward road. Women, they almost never take the straightforward road, but I'm talking to you gentlemen here. Now, why don't women disrespect certain men? Perhaps it's for the same reason that men don't disrespect certain men. It's an estimation of the cost. Human beings, we are sometimes rational, and in certain cases where fear may be involved, we're very rational, and we assess what the cost of something may be. What is the cost if I talk crazy to this person? What is the cost of defending myself against that person? What is the cost of being an aggressor toward that individual? Yes. Sometimes you may walk around like you're big and bad until you encounter someone who's bigger and badder. Then they spit on you, and then you don't do anything because you believe the cost is too high. The cost of engaging that person is too high. You believe you're going to suffer. And with regards to male and female relations, there ought be a cost. There are those women who will behave because they are well behaved. They will exercise manners because they have good manners. They were raised that way. And then there are those who must be forced. There are those who must have fear. There are those who must be in awe. There are those who must yield because they feel a sense of respect specific to you, not because they were raised to respect people, not even because they have self-respect, but because of how you have represented yourself as a man. So, if you're rightly perceived as a man, which involves two major components, one, that you're viewed as wise counsel, yes, a leader. Number two, that you are viewed as one who can engage violence, yes, that positions you such that the female thinks to herself, I should have an appropriate level of respect and fear, and thereby they would want to avoid the consequences of incurring your wrath. This is not to suggest that you need to threaten them, but I might encourage you to not be so predictable. You ever heard a woman say, oh, he wouldn't harm a fly? I never heard a woman say that about me, because I will smash an ant with a sledgehammer. You never want to be perceived as harmless to anyone, male or female. Now, if I had to choose between my woman thinking that I was a little bit thrown off, a little bit crazy, maybe might become violent against anyone, or have her believe that I'm completely sane, all the way screwed on, and highly predictable, I think I'd go with the former. It's more exciting. Women like excitement, drama. They thrive in chaos, many of them. But most importantly, you don't ever want to be predictable to anyone. The moment you are predictable, you lose the negotiation. Life is a negotiation like business. Sometimes you're winning, sometimes you're losing. But the moment people find you to be very predictable and they know what decision you're going to make before you make it, they know what you're thinking and what you're going to say before you say it, you're boring, you're easy to defeat, they can run strategy against you. But that character who is unpredictable, who might sacrifice everything, who will win at all costs, who is extraordinarily ruthless, that is someone to be feared. That is someone not to play with. And I always tell you all, I pride myself on my ruthlessness. I pride myself on it. I don't love anything. I don't love anything enough to not be able to walk away. I don't love anything enough to not be able to sacrifice it for something else. And I don't even love my own life enough to not put it up at risk for something else. And you really got to be like that. You know, I tell folks, I say, you know what? If someone was actually stronger, faster, and bigger, and more skilled in violence than I am, I'd be scared for them to go against me. Because if they have every advantage, size, strength, speed, skill against me, I'd be scared for them because I will not lose. I will only win. So what they should have to calculate in their head is, if he's only willing to win, that means he'll do whatever it takes to win. He'll do anything to win. So now they should probably have to boggle their mind and sink down into fear of what I might do, because I will do anything to win. I will never accept losing. I will only win and I will sacrifice everything. And I don't care about anything except winning. So they should be scared. You know, if you're stronger, bigger, taller, faster, more skilled, you should be scared to play games with me because I'm not going to run. I'm not going to back down. So then you got to figure out, what am I about to do to you? And that can get dark. And that is how everyone should view you. And that should be true. And that's why I always encourage you guys, increase your ruthlessness. Book of Dark Truths. We talk about it, but we get into some real detail. We really reprogram that psychology. But I say that to say this. You wonder why they say the good guys finish last. The good guys, the nice guys, which means the suckers and the simps. Well, it's because of what I just described. The bad boy is going to have his way because he takes his way and he makes a way. It's almost by nature, it's almost thoughtless. It's almost effortless. Some of you need to condition yourself into being able to get your thug on and get your way. See, me, truth be told, if you've read my book, The Black Box, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it. I believe that I came into this world a very kind soul, and even nice, which I am no longer nice. And I was raised to be very polite. And I think by nature, I was probably very sensitive for a time. And then it was ripped out of me, never to return. And you know what? I'm stronger and better for it. I observe people who are not strong enough, males especially. Women can get by being foolish. But males, I observe when they don't have the strength to do what is right, even when it's hard. For example, I just recently saw a reel on Instagram. It was a black guy who apparently is a repo man. And then he came upon a black female, single mom, who hadn't paid her bill. Shocker. And they were out shopping at the mall. Ironic, you got mall money, but you ain't got basics to cover your car note. Fascinating. Your priorities are messed up. And then he was supposed to repo her car, but he couldn't do it because she was shopping with her kid. Boy, I would have repo Shorty's car in a hot minute. You dig? Yeah, I'd be like, is your cell phone charged? Because if it's not, I could call your baby daddy. Yeah, you got a baby right here. You should have a baby daddy. So at least you have them who can come pick you up. Or call your mom, your father, somebody. Somebody got to care about you, right? But I tell you what, I'm not about to lose my job trying to be sympathetic over you. You didn't have enough sympathy for yourself to pay your own bills. You didn't have enough common sense to save your money instead of going shopping at the mall. So now I'm going to sacrifice my family and my future for you, a stranger who probably is a dirtbag, which is why the father of your child isn't even with you. That's crazy. That's foolish. It's irrational. It's emotional. It's the wrong answer. You think you were being a good guy, a good boy. No, you're a gay boy. You're a weirdo. You don't know this woman. She doesn't share your values in all likelihood. She wouldn't do the same for you. You're taking money out of your pocket, thereby stopping yourself from providing for your own family at a high level. Trying to be nice and then get points on social media for being cute. Nah, Brody, I'd have had Shorty at the bus stop. Straight up. Yeah, straight up. Now, it's different if she was a part of my culture, if she was a lady saint, you heard me, or if she was an old lady of one of the saints or someone in my immediate family, which is my mother, that's it, then yeah, I would show some mercy. But like, I don't know you, Shorty. We just gonna play it by the book. You heard me? I'm not being mean. I'm doing my job, and you didn't pay your bill. I'm not stealing. I'm not stealing your car. In fact, you're stealing the car because you're not paying for it. Come on now. But all of the single moms were in the chat and saying, because I said, bro is weak. He should have just done his job. They're like, you're mean. You're an a-hole. Who raised you? No, who raised you? You're a single mom and you don't pay your bills. Who raised you? You don't pay your bills. You're a thief. That's actually what you are. You're a thief. That's what they didn't call you, but that's the actual word. If you take something you didn't pay for, you're a thief. And that's what you did. Come on now. Yeah. Yeah, but here's the crazy part. They want a man to sacrifice himself, sacrifice his income for a woman he doesn't know who has a baby by another nigga, and she ain't never gonna do nothing for him. Imagine, lose your job over helping this random broad who wouldn't help you. Imagine. They're basically praising him for making himself a martyr. Look, I ain't Jesus. You heard me? No, I ain't a bald head black Jesus. Not at all. Stupid. Nah, Shorty about to be on the bus stop, not because of me, but because she didn't pay her bills. So I encourage all of you guys to know that you're in a world where people will give you feedback and advice that will hurt you. People were in the comments telling him he did a good thing. Well, let me ask you, little buddy, how much money did you get paid for not repoing that car? $0. You could have got $500, $700 to do your job, but instead you didn't do it and you got $0. Fascinating. But trip on this. If it was a man, say it was me or you watching this show, and you were out there, you were at the mall, meet me at the mall, it's going down, meet me at the mall. So you're at the mall shopping, right? You come out, bro is repoing your car. You come to him, hey man, I've been paying for this and I was in student loan debt and I, lost this and I had a gambling addiction and, I just got clean and I just got out of jail and whatever you're going through, real problems. And you told him all of that and said, hey man to man, brother to brother, help me out, man. Look out for me, man. You're a black man. I'm a black man. Look out for me. Bro would have looked you up and down and gave your ass the Jordan shrug. Like, man, get the f out of here. He'd have showed you no mercy. He'd have treated you like a goddamn dog. Huh? Tell me I'm wrong. Black man to black man. He'd have treated you like a dog. Huh? But for this irresponsible broad, oh, yeah, bro's all like, yeah, okay, go ahead, take the car. It's okay. It's okay that you're so irresponsible that you have intercourse without a condom and procreate bastard children, and then you shop when you really should be saving. It's okay. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Now, that dweeb who did that, he expects respect, but he will only be abused. He will only be used, especially by ratchet women. And apparently that's what he dates because that's what he had a soft spot for. I wouldn't have been able to identify with Shorty because I don't deal with broads like that. You dig? Oh, yeah, man, that MDB label looking colder than a beer. MDBlabel.com, man. This is damn near a uniform hat. Cop it, boss up, straight up. Anyways. So he cannot be perceived as one to respect because he is not a disciplined man. He goes back on his word. He doesn't do his duty. He is not iron. He is not strong. He has flimsy levels of resolve. So yeah, the bro gonna run all over you, man. She couldn't have got mad at you for repoing her car. She knows she ain't paid the damn bill. Then in the video, she had the nerve to say, I just missed my payment one time. You're lying. You're lying because it wouldn't make financial sense for a bank to repo your car over one missed payment. They would much rather you get back on track because they're in the business not of repoing cars, but of collecting interest on your payments, doofus. You liar. You liar. Huh? But a lot of you boys out there would have been looking at him like, oh, he's a good guy. Yeah, he'd have been a good guy till you saw your dumb coming out of the mall. And man to man, you'd ask for help and he wouldn't have helped you. It would let you know that I'm a dude, you're a dude, bro code means nothing. I'm black, you're black, well, means nothing. Huh? Yeah, he got soft for the vagina that he ain't even gonna get to hit. You heard me? Why? Because he's a weak beta male. Those are the males that are uninformed and undesirable. And the closest they can get is being nice to the broad. They ain't even gonna smash. Meanwhile, Pookie smashed her, dashed her, and now she's over here by herself, can't even afford a damn car. Come on, man. This is wild. Shout out to Mr. Santos. Writes, peace of the saints. What do you do when you start slow? I've been slacking last couple of days. So I'm assuming your question is when your productivity starts to slow down. I recommend Boston University. There's a great graphic in Boston University. It's called Man's Happiness Machine. Take a look at that graphic. And it describes, what kind of keeps the engine going. I in brief, want to say that most of us, we run on happiness. If you can have fun and happiness and true joy, it will balance your ability to be productive and to want to be productive. So check out that lesson in Boss University. Boss University is really about becoming the boss of the self, getting in control of your human machinery, your brain, your body, your spirit. And also there's a particular lesson I think will be of great use to you in Boss University. It's entitled Getting Out of a Rut. I trust there are many people in the chat right now who have taken Boss University. It's a fine piece of work. In fact, I'd say it's my proudest piece of work. So, and we all get into ruts sometimes. So this is not unique and it won't be the last one, but you can become much better at managing them, making them shorter, and even making them more productive. And what I mean by that is when you're a man of great discipline, even the depressed version of you, even the unproductive version of you, even the unhappy version of you is still far more productive, well-adjusted, and pleasant than that version of other people because you have achieved self-mastery. Shout out to Notorious Reactions, writes, peace of the saints, married 5 months. My wife got mad during an argument and decided to grab my phone and throw it on the floor to get a reaction out of me. Says she gets foul when mad, as if she can't help it. Female thinks she's the Hulk. You know what? I wish there was a great answer I could give you, but unfortunately, words in this case are not constructive of reality. I cannot create reality with my words. I fear that if this has happened more than one time, this is a representation of her character, which has been forged over the years and, in fact, probably over multiple decades. And with that being the case, it is improbable that your wife will change her behavior unless there are significant consequences. And even then, it might not change. It may be something that either A, you have to learn to live with, or B, you have to learn to not live with and exit if there are no children and you find a way to unhinge yourself. But the truth of the matter is this may be something you just have to accept. But my question for you is, did you not get into disagreements before marriage? Because you really should. It's ideal. And I understand sometimes we do things faster for different reasons and, life happens. But certainly you have to explain to her, as I trust you have, that this is not acceptable. When she does it, you would probably be wise to exit the situation, to stonewall her, to isolate her, and to not engage that drama. Because what they're looking for when they display these kind of tantrums is greater engagement from you. And so if you provide the opposite distance and coldness, you might be able to temper that. But it is quite disappointing for an adult to behave in that way. But at the end of the day, when you take the sum of your wife, if her traits are mostly good, and that is one of the few things that she's not doing right, then it is what it is, right? No one's perfect. Shout out to Raymond. He writes, came right back like a boomerang. Peace of the saints. Oh, yes, indeed. In fact, I would have never stopped. Shout out to Dominic supporting the work. I appreciate you. He writes, back-to-back tuition. Peace of the saints. I got one more coming, too. It's Hustlemania 14. You dig? Actually, it was 13. But hell, let's make it 14. Hustlemania 14. Shout out to Caleb supporting the work. He writes, I've known this young lady for a little over a month. She keeps bringing up marriage while trying to leverage religion, the Bible, to pressure legal marriage. Yeah, she's a clown. I told her that will never happen. Quote, they use the cloak of religion, end quote. We'll never forget these words. Oh, indeed. Yes, they talk religious, but they don't live religious, huh? Yes, I never believe it. Because for someone to be religious, they would have to be extraordinarily disciplined. And one thing I know from living on planet Earth is that very few people are disciplined. That's why I'm ahead of most people, because I'm more disciplined. And to execute on the dictates of religion would require a wildly disciplined person and also a scholar in the case of Christianity, because the stories are so contrived. So we know that they're lying because discipline is not a woman's strong suit. So, yeah, it's silliness. And the legal marriage is a scam, and she's using it to take control of you. If a woman truly wants you, truly believes in you, she submits to your law, not the government's law. You hear me? Yeah, stay wise, stay sharp out here, man. And also don't, why do fools fall in love so quickly? Well, hey, don't find out the hard way, man. So I'd play it a little bit slow because it sounds real sus, my boy. Sounds real sus. And hey, at the end of the day, sometimes things go left. And if they do, Your goal is to figure out how to correct it. Life is not always perfect, and sometimes you make a misstep. The best thing you can do other than not making the mistake is to correct it as quickly as possible and do absolutely what is necessary. Shout out to Michael. Just got his ticket for the Big Game Conference. That now reduces the remaining tickets to 12 tickets, if my calculations are correct. And if they're not correct, then people will end up having to get refunded. Anyways, shout out to Mr. Chambliss. He writes, as the song says, question, can I get to the yams? Sweet yams, show me the way, because I got bills to pay. Oh, hey, can I get to the yams? I've actually never heard this. This must be what the young boys are listening to. Shout out to Andre, came in via Venmo. He writes, what is the quickest way to access a woman if a woman is a waste of your time? Ask her to do something for you. Yes, don't compensate her at all. Ask her to do a meaningful favor for you and see what she does or says. Shout out to Mr. Chambliss. He writes, Harvard valedictorian gives speech on unity while two people are fighting in the background. That's wild. Number 2, does she unite with all people? Does China unite with all people? Oh, yeah, people are funny. There's so many fantasies, and that's why increasingly, as I mature and experience the world and understand power structures, shout out to Book of Dark Truths, I am increasingly suspicious really of everything, but especially of history, because just imagine if the news will lie to you about what's going on today, why wouldn't the history lie to you about what happened 3,000 years ago, right? I find it curious that, on the news, it kept saying, there's a threat of a recession. A recession's going to happen. Don't, watch out for the recession. During Biden, there was a recession, which it's a number of quarters of consecutive GDP stagnation or decline, something like this. I forget what it is because they're literally changing the definition. Under Biden, that happened. So we keep hearing recession, and you're like, whoa, is it coming now? Is it coming now? Are we in it? Who knows? And that's because truth is lost in this day. It is lost. And I say that to say, and maybe it always was lost. Maybe I'm just mature enough nowadays to know that. But I say that to say, if people will lie to you about the things you can see with your own eyes, for example, Donald Trump lied about there being a genocide in South Africa. Complete lies. The photographs he showed were from the Congo, not from South Africa. There have been many white South Africans who have gone on public television and on YouTube and said, this is nonsense. This is not happening. Even the refugees that he brought from South Africa, they were not even farmers. They were just random, impoverished white South Africans who wanted a better life. So we're being lied to while we can observe the evidence that contradicts the lie. So certainly the recount of history got to be a lie. Gotta be. Oh, and by the way, I would encourage you moderators to be more aggressive. Get people out of my chat who are there trying to promote folks and doing all this extra stuff. If people have something important to say, they'll use this information below. If they're saying anything that's slightly off color, get them out of my chat. I encourage you to move rapidly and to be aggressive. And I always do. I don't want to ever be able to do something before you do it. Come on now. I really want you guys to just have your aggressiveness and your ruthlessness turned up very high. Very high. Come on now, catch up. You hear me? I'm already there. Shout out to Haidar. Writes, peace of the saints. Since today's lecture is about women, how do I go about getting a female to break me off a little something? Was raised to be soft and a gentleman. Oh, that's a pity. Thank you for your time. And now it's just funny how men really yield to duty. Men were raised to be gentlemen, and so they do it. Women, on the other hand, want the benefit of gentlemen, but do not want to be ladies, and they do not embrace any of the duties we expect. Cooking, cleaning, being peaceful, being supportive. Don't embrace any of it. Extraordinary. So it's like, why are you doing your part? They're not doing their part. Come on, man. That's a bad deal. So anyways, he writes, how do I go about getting her to break me off a little something? Well, there's a lot of things they can break off. You hear me? There's a lot of things. It depends on what we're talking. We're talking about ass, cash, or grass. You dig? So if you're talking about the wagon, I mean, man, that's really easy. It just depends on the nature of the girl. Some will give it quicker. Some got to wait 24 hours. They feel better about it. Some it's going to be on the second date. So, we need more details there. But really, you don't want to speak in a theoretical sense. If you're talking about having her break off some of that brized, well, that's a higher level. In fact, it's the highest level, because women would prefer to give you their body, which is extraordinary, as opposed to give you $1. Okay. When they give you $1, it really lets you know that you're in position, my boy. Shout out to Lauren with the bowler alert. He writes, first time tuition, peace of saints. And that's a good way to show up. You heard me? He said, I'm showing up for the first time, but I'm going to show up and show out. Shout out to the bosses. Lauren came in with the bowlerism. Beautiful thing to see. Ladies and saints, I'll give you some time to send me your questions, comments as we wind down. Oh, and by the way, for the gentleman who came in earlier on the earlier stream, he asked about the body and hand wash. I just uploaded on the community tab. The man and woman brand body and hand wash is available. We got that there. There's some of the body washes are out of stock, but we'll get them back up. I'm actually going to order some hand and body wash for all of the bathrooms here so that we can represent. May I acknowledge Mr. Chandler here. Right, so there's a video from those two bathroom buddies in Canada reacting to a woman with 8 million subscribers who gives advice on how to manipulate men, and she just got cheated on while pregnant. Ooh, vicious. No, really, that's vicious. Oh, that's vicious. And shout out to these people who do all of this reaction content and all this news content, because good Lord, they work hard. Man, they work hard. I'm honestly in awe of the efforts of some of the people on YouTube. God damn it, I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of hard for me to compete with them because I don't want to be famous, right? Like, but when you really want to be famous, I'm not talking about the guys from Canada. They're already famous. But when you really want to be famous and you're driving for that, man, people are so motivated, man. They get out and make these YouTube videos back to back to back. They're reacting to everything. All the news is important to them. And me, I have trouble because I'm like, Diddy, I don't want to talk about perversion all day. It just seems evil. Like it drains my soul to talk about just filth and evil and wickedness and gossip and the type of people who want to listen to that. I don't really want to be around. I don't want to share spiritual time with them. So it's kind of hard for me to make the content because I don't want to talk about the Diddy case. I don't want to talk about the Ukraine-Russia war where both sides keep on, and it's just like never ending. I don't want to talk about the pump faking from Israel toward Iran. I don't want to talk about the Cold War between China and America. You know, these things where we're getting a lot of misinformation and propaganda. And I don't want to be a part of the chorus of people like speculating. I'd rather talk about the things that are timeless and evergreen. My great hope for you all is that you can come back to this lecture years from now and say, okay, this is a topic about why women don't disrespect certain men. How can I learn how to be that man that a woman doesn't disrespect? How can I be that man that other men will respect? And it'll be evergreen content. And I appreciate those of you who support great content like this because I can think of a million things better for your soul than to hear about how Diddy was, you know, whacking off, watching some like masked black dude, you know, do grimy things to, you know, some female who objectifies herself and then lies about it. Huh? That's just degrading to all of us. Shout out to Jay with the baller alert. He writes, tuition, you've been spitting that truth. Thank you, Saint, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. And you are welcome. Yes, indeed. Ladies and saints, do tune in. I'm going to react to the DDG getting stabbed by his baby mama, my baby mama. She stabbed me. I'm going to react to that because it's actually quite instructive in as much as we kind of never end up with these types on accident. There are women that you could deal with and, you know, they've been pleasant the whole time you've known them or the time that you've dated, and then you get them mad and they kind of flip out. But the ones that stab you, they had to have shown some signs before that, right? Before the stabbing, there had to have been signs, like maybe she's Puerto Rican or Dominican, things like that. Those are signs, all right?